Hello everyone. I've reached the area that I spoke about earlier, and so here in this bowl I have a combination of different dry ingredients to make my all-purpose chocolate blend of flour. So I have oat fiber, I have a egg white protein that's chocolate, as well as almond flour, guar gum, and my cocoa powder. I also have into the mix some baking powder as well. Now that's the different things here. You probably can't really see the almond flour, but it's actually underneath the cocoa powder there. So I'm going to go ahead and whisk all of this together, and then I'm going to get baking my chocolate cake or muffins. No, probably cupcakes. Yeah, I think I'm going to be making some cupcakes. That's what I'm in the mood for. All right, so let me get started. Okay, so as I'm mixing everything together, I have some white spots throughout the flour. So I'm just going to sift everything to really blend it together a lot better. Okay, so this is all that was caught in the sifter that I just would not have been able to get out of the mixture once I added all of my wet ingredients. So I always sift my flour. Well, sometimes. I can't say always because there are just sometimes I'm really not in the mood to do so, so I don't. But this time, since I'm wanting it to be a really fine cake mixture, then I sifted it. I still ended up with a few white specks, but that's okay. Not as big as some of the other ones that you see here in the sifter. All right then, moving on. Okay, after sifting, the batch weighs 472 grams. So once I finish calculating all of the ingredients and seeing how much I want to portion out per serving, then I'll be able to better distribute the net carbs. Okay, so instead of making muffins or cupcakes, I decided to make a bundt cake because I didn't know I was out of cupcake tins. So moving on, you work with what you have. So I already have the mixture in here. I've added some heavy cream powder as well as some allulose and some Bocha sweet. I have my Carb Masters milk in here as well as 2 eggs. And let me add in my vanilla and my oil. Okay, the batter is kind of thick, so I'm going to add in 150 milliliters of hot water. And this will just loosen everything up and make everything run really, really well. I've also added in some instant coffee in here, about a gram of that. So, but of course, everything will be listed in the description below. Now, although this looks runny, it's only because of the hot water. If the water was to be cooler, then it still would have some thickness to it. Or even if you were to let this cool, then it would become slightly more thicker than what it currently is. Okay, so I've already prepped my bundt pan with some Baker's Joy. Even though this is already a non-stick bundt pan, but sometimes it's still been known to stick, so an extra little bit of security never hurts. So here, I'm just releasing any air bubbles or air pockets. so that my cake bake up as evenly as possible. I'm gonna pop this in my oven that I have set for 350 for about 30 to 40 minutes. We'll see how it goes. All right, so now I just have to wait for this to cool off completely cool, and then I'll be able to flip it over on the plate and show you what it looks like. Okay, so here's what the cake looks like. And over here I have a combination of heavy cream, some Lily's chocolate, as well as some of the Ghirardelli's, cocoa powder, some chocolate extract, vanilla flavoring, a little bit of Carb Masters as well, and some Bocha sweet. So I didn't want to do an icing. I figure a nice cross between ganache, a sweetened ganache would be a lot better. Well, the thing is, although I called it a cake in the beginning, because how the crumb of, or the texture I should say, it looks, it's actually more of a bread. It's not a cake. So, yeah, we have a chocolate bread here. But it is very, very good. That I will admit. So this could be used for a dessert or a breakfast or a snack, depending on how you feel. So let's scrap the word cake and call it chocolate bread, because that's what it is. It's a bread. It's not really a texture of a cake. But I do like how it tastes, though. It is so yummy. At least to me. I hope you guys find it that way. So, anyway, here's my chocolate bread. If you want to call it a cake, then you can. If you want to call it a bread, you can call it that as well. All right, people. I'll see you when I see you. Okay, so I'm going to do another experiment, because oftentimes in low carbs, the ingredients bake up differently as far as desserts go versus being instant. And when I say instant, I mean quick, as in like in the microwave. So using the same flour that I used from before, and I just use 28 grams of that, and then I'll add in an egg, as well as some of the chocolate extract, some vanilla, and some more baking powder, and I'll probably put in a tablespoon of oil and just a tiny bit of hot water. Okay, here I have smaller portions of everything that I used in the big cake that went into the oven that I'm doing here for the small version for the microwave. Let me get a baking dish. Okay, here's the cake fresh out of the microwave after 1.5 minutes. So I'll dump this out and then see what it looks like in just a moment. Okay, so I've taken it out of the mold, and this is what it looks like. This is still a bread texture, so I don't know about really calling it a cake. Yeah, there's still a bread. So we have a chocolate bread pretty much here. So I would say adding in some chocolate chips as well as maybe some nuts, walnuts or pecans or something like that, whatever your favorite type of nut is, you know, add it to the mix. I really didn't make this version all that sweet because it was just an experiment. So if you're not wanting it that sweet, then you don't have to. And this way you can add some whipped topping, or you can make my 0-carb chocolate syrup and put that on top of here. Or you can make a ganache and put that on, or make some other type of frosting or milk. I have several milk icings or whipped milk frostings pretty much. But those are on my Reddit page. So, and I have a couple of Swiss meringue icings or frostings as well on there. So, whatever your choice is to put on top of this, or just eat it as is with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or a cup of milk. You know, have it however you like. All right, guys, thank you for joining me for this edition of Dishing Out Flavor, where we have made a chocolate bread. Like I said, I was calling it cake, but that is not what it is. It is definitely a delicious chocolate bread. All right, guys. See you later. Ciao. You know, as I was saying, guys, you know, this is going to make a great little snack or dessert. It's a bread or a cake, whatever you choose it to be. And you can see I dressed it up with a little bit of ganache and some pecans. So it is what it is. Enjoy.